Good morning, good morning, good morning. Like I said just a second ago, it is April the 18th, 2019. We're reading the book Born for Love by Buscaglia, which I believe I already showed you. It is broken down into segments or parcels or however you want to call it, little short clips. And it makes the book very interesting to read because you can read the little short segments and kind of contemplate on exactly what's being said and what it means, etc., etc. Now we have one more here on the last segment that we were reading on. And then we'll start a new segment. So I'm going to continue starting on the last segment of this one here. And it's called Loneliness as a Source of Love. It is well to remember that no matter how many people love us, surround us, or are concerned for our welfare, in a very real sense, we are alone. No one, no matter how caring, can ever truly understand us, our fears, our hopes, our dreams. We are strangers even to ourselves, and many of us spend our lifetimes trying to understand who we really are. This estrangement can be the source of great loneliness, but it need not be. In reality, it offers a way of confronting our fears through self-revelation. We will only know who we are when we are willing to dig deeply into the inner recesses of ourselves. Others will only know who we are when we are willing to risk in self-disclosure. The task is arduous, frightening, and ongoing. Though the acceptance of our aloneness, we can begin to glimpse the truth about the worth of love and why we can't live without it. The quote in this case is by Mother Teresa. Loneliness and feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. I will add only one thing to that I've always believed, possibly because the mere fact that I am an only child, is that I was born alone by myself, and I'll die alone. And that, unfortunately, for me, is just the reality of the world that I live in. I'll have to also say, just a point of interest, it's going to be a really nice day here. Looking at the weather report, it says it's going to actually hit 71 degrees today. And for as cold as it's been for the last 4 months, that's truly a heat wave. Yep. And we are starting a new segment or chapter or whatever you want to call it. And it is called Love Has Acquired Its Tenuous Reputation because it has for so long been left in the hands of amateurs. Interesting thought. So we'll go ahead and start on this particular segment. The first one is called Adaptability in Love. One of the most basic tenets of science is that adaptability is the key to survival. This is no less basic to loving in that we are often required to subordinate our immediate desire or desires to the needs of those we love. Their well-being and contentment must be as important to us as our own, perhaps even more so. Individuals unwilling to adapt or modify their behaviors look upon compromise as psychological weakness. At best, a dreaded consequences. They fail to understand that there is a great difference between yielding through coercion and yielding willingly. Giving in is an important kind of giving when people love each other. What we think we may have lost in terms of one-upmanship or control, we have gained tenfold in terms of security and peaceful coexistence. You don't lose in compromise. You find. There's a quote by Jesuit Moto. A great deal of good can be done in the world if one is not too careful who gets the credit. Interesting, to say the least. As I read through these, I have to say to myself, a lot of thought has gone into each one of these very interesting short segments that I read. Makes me wonder how long it took Mr. Buscaglia to put this all together and then format it into the book that we have. Okay. The next one is called Choice. Those who suffer the illusion that they are nothing more than human computers manipulated by programmers over which they have no control will never fully know love or live life. We are born having no like or equal. Our mind, character, and spirit are distinctly our own. As we develop these qualities, We may sometimes find ourselves at the mercy of ruthless, thoughtless individuals who would desire to make us their clones. But as long as we believe that we are free to make choices, we are safe. This great power to choose rather than always to be chosen remains ours forever. Looks like somebody is trying to join us. Looks like Sandy, maybe. Is that you, Sandy? Not sure. Well, I'll continue the read until she pops in. Still, there will always be people to tell us that we are powerless and pawn-like. Ah, I hear a doorbell. I hear a ding-dong. Is Sandy here?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Trying to figure out why my headphone's not working. Let me try it again.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to get some new headphones. How about now? Well, can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you.
You can hear me now. How you doing?
Can't use the earplugs. I don't know what's going on with that. So. Well, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain.
Good.
It's supposed to be 71 degrees today. It's going to be
won't that be nice?
Oh, it'll be a heat wave compared to what it's been.
Yes. You won't know what to do with yourself. Snow on the ground one day.
Yeah, I'll go out with a heavy jacket and have to throw it on the ground and run.
Golly.
Haven't heard too much from Reverend Dave yet, but I know he's supposed to get that brace thing off his foot. I think today.
It's still a couple of weeks away, I think. He messaged yesterday that he lost. He's like down to 297. He was real excited about that.
Oh yeah, I got that message myself. He was just tickled.
Yeah.
Lost 45 pounds apparently since he's been in the hospital. That's pretty cool.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't advise doing it that way though. So.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't either. Anyway, we jumped into another segment called Love Has Acquired Its Tenuous Reputation because it has for so long been left in the hands of amateurs.
One way of putting it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start on Choice, is the one I was reading just as you were popping in. So I'll go ahead and continue.
Okay.
Choice. Those who suffer the illusion that they are nothing more than human computers, manipulated by programmers over which they have no control, will never fully know love or life or the living of life. We are born having no like or equal. Our mind, character, and spirit are distinctly our own. As we develop these qualities, we may sometimes find ourselves at the mercy of ruthless, thoughtless individuals who would desire to make us their clones. But as long as we believe that we are free to make choices, we are safe. This great power to choose rather than always be the chosen remains ours forever. Still, there will always be people to tell us that we are powerless and pawn-like. To accept or reject the truth of this is just another choice we have. There are too many successful examples not to believe that we are free to alter who we are, what we believe, and what we see as our purpose and goals. We can choose to love or hate, be happy or despairing, be free or oppressed, forgiving or bitter. Having this freedom includes taking responsibility for choices made. In the long run, we are responsible for our lives and how we live them. A quote by Judith M. Knowlton. I discovered I always have choices, and sometimes it's only a choice of attitude. Very good. I was just thinking before you got on that each one of these little, almost like a parable in a sense, each one of these that he's written the way he has apparently a lot of thought was given to each one before it was written. You know?
Oh, yeah, I would think so. Yeah, he'd have to formulate, a plan and organize everything.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I wonder just exactly how long it took him to put this book together.
Mm-hmm. Probably years.
It could have been many years, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Because each one is so enlightening that, like I've done, it's worth giving a moment to the thought of what's been said. Of course, my sinus is still driving me nuttier.
Yeah, I hear that. You're really suffering with that.
Oh, every day. Not a day doesn't go by. And I'm one of these hard-shelled nuts who thinks that I'm not going to listen to a doctor and start taking something to clear up my...
I'm the same way. I haven't got any time for doctors. It's nonsense.
Well, years ago when I was in my 20s, I tried that. And I can't remember what it was that I was taking, but I took it for about 3 or 4 months. Until I realized that, it was kind of like survival. I couldn't survive without taking a stupid pill.
Yeah.
So I decided to stop taking it. And I have to tell you, I was absolutely insanely miserable for about 6 months.
Oh, gosh.
Because once I quit taking this so-called pill that was supposed to get rid of it, then the problem in my sinuses was 5 times worse than it ever was before I started taking the pill. So I said, nope, the heck with that. I'll just live with my sinuses because I don't want to be hooked on that so-called drug or whatever it was. Because in what it did to me once I stopped, I realized that I could actually, in the real world, just like a narcotic, get hooked on it, and then I wouldn't be able to live without it.
Yeah. Well, that's what Mike Lyles was saying about the prednisone that he was taking.
Yeah.
Took him so long to, get over the need for it after he stopped taking it. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's I just got to live with it. And unfortunately, so does everybody else. They may not like me the way I am because I got my sinus, and that's not my problem.
What, do you take Claritin or something?
I take nothing. Absolutely nothing except Kleenex. And sometimes a roll of toilet paper,
Yeah.
That's the next best thing if you run out of Kleenex.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next one. Next little segment is, if I could ever get rid of all these pop-ups on my computer. The only time we fail at love is when we blame our failure on others. We are not born perfect lovers. So few of us will escape making loving fools of ourselves. Love is always there to be learned and to be improved upon if we are willing to acknowledge our mistakes and accept our failures. We can see them as catalysts for change rather than reasons for retreat. As soon as we place the blame for our failure upon someone else, we limit our opportunities for growth. Who needs to improve when it's always their fault? Such an attitude is always self-defeating. If we find ourselves unloved and unloving, the fault is ours. There can be no such thing as failing in love. We can fail to love or fail love, but we don't fail in love until we place the blame for our failure on someone else. Quote at the bottom by Howard W. Newton. When a man blames others for his failures, it is a good idea to credit others with his successes. Ho, ho, ho. Oh.
Wake up.
Oh, just got to stretch the old tired muscles that have gotten out of bed but don't know they're out of bed yet.
Yeah.
The phone. Goodbye. I should leave the phone somewhere else, but then if I do, somebody important might call, and then I get my rear end in trouble. Where are you?
Yep. Might be an emergency.
Yep, so I got to tolerate it. Yeah, other than that, I've been doing a lot on my edumacation.
Oh, good.
I got 3. I had to put these in chat because I have changed them a little bit. And you can take a look at them. I'm actually having a lot of fun learning about how to do all this stuff. And it's like anything else. It's really odd when you stop to think, when you learn how to do something, and of course, after you've learned how to do it, you always end up asking yourself, well, hell, if it was that easy, I should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But, at the time, you don't realize how easy it was. I'm going to send them to you one at a time.
Okay.
The only reason I'm going to do that is because I always copy and paste it and make sure that it works. Because there's nothing more. Oops, I don't want to do that. Okay. Well,
Where is it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
But I can't go to it because it says here that when I'm recording, I can't minimize.
Yeah, that's fine. I got it.
So I'll just go ahead and put them all in there, and then you can take a look at them.
Okay.
But I think you'll find that they're Reverend Dave and a few other people, pointed out mistakes that I made. A couple was in grammar, a couple were in spelling. So
it's good to have editors.
Yeah, I got a lot of editors on my staff. I love it.
That's pretty good.
But anyway, quite a few of them I've gone back and redid or added a phrase, or in one case, there's one I think I changed the phrase completely because as I read it, I realized that in one way it didn't even make any sense, not even to me, and I was the one that wrote it.
It's pretty bad, right?
Okay, there's the second one, and I gotta check and make sure. Okay, then I'll put in. I did two, and then I ended up doing one more that's totally different from the rest. So now I have 3 landing pages for True United, which is pretty cool.
That's great.
Then you can check and make sure that I haven't messed any of them up. Oops, that's not right. That third one I put in there is wrong.
Okay.
I don't know why I keep forgetting to put in the bit lily part of it. There. Now it's correct.
Got them all.
Got them all?
Yep.
Yep, and it looks like they are all working, so.
Good.
Cool. So you'll have a chance to take a look at them. And I know I shouldn't be patting myself on the back, but I'll say it again. I'm kind of proud of all 3 of them.
Good. Well, good. And copying is the best form of flattery, so I'll copy them.
Okay, we'll go on and read the next one. The next one is the real challenge of love is to maintain our personal dignity without intruding on that of others. Our most valuable possession is our personal dignity. When we lose that, we have nothing. Since we all have value and are different from each other, it is ludicrous to measure one's personal worth against another's. People who evaluate worth in others by their monetary value, their work, or by what lifestyle they choose, call into question their own intelligence and sensibility. If we are all equal in the eyes of God, who can put themselves up as a higher judge? We only become entrapped in this losing scenario when we allow others to be determiners of our worth. As long as we believe in ourselves, maintain our self-respect, pride, and sense of humor, we are safe from such intruders. When we belittle in order to aggrandize, I think that word is, ourselves, it is a sign of our own weakness. We become more worthy of compassion than contempt, for in reality, we are revealing our desperate need to be loved. Quote at the bottom, Sol, S-O-L, Charles, to behave with dignity is nothing more than to allow others freely to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done with that segment. That was a quick segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in that whole segment.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that segment was called Love Has Acquired Its Tenuous Reputation Because It Has for So Long Been Left in the Hands of Amateurs. That was short.
That's cute.
Yeah, okay. So the next segment that we're going to jump into will be it is only when we have experienced love that we truly realize what would be lost by missing it. Well, I agree with that. Right off. Oh. It's natural when you get old that everything just hurts, period.
Yeah.
My fingers hurt, my toes hurt, my back hurts. Oh, well, so is life, as they all say. Well, we'll move right on to the first one here. It's called Stop Questioning, Just Love, and You Will Have Solved Its Mystery. With something as complex and all-consuming as love, it is not unexpected that we should choose to move judiciously, 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 judiciously.
Judiciously, yeah.
Okay. To move judiciously, still can't pronounce it right, but that's all right. This is especially understandable when we feel that love has somehow wronged us. Ego wounds heal slowly. the more so when we take defeat and failure as a sign that we are unlovable. To continually analyze everything and everyone we associate with love prevents us from making sound judgments. Eventually, it immobilizes us. Why and who and how we love does not benefit from microscopic scrutiny. A reader wrote to me telling me of her problem with falling in love. The more time she spent analyzing and anticipating the possible course of the relationship in question, the more impossible it became for her to make a decision. Perhaps, she concluded, I should just stop questioning and just love into the answers. Perhaps. Quote by Harvey Cox, not to decide is to decide. Absolute concrete truth there. Without a doubt, without a doubt. A lot of that, particular that one by Harvey Cox, I've used hundreds of times in conversation with people. Well, I can't make a decision. No, you already have.
Yeah. You decided to procrastinate.
Yeah. Although the one I love the most is the one, and I don't know who the writer was, but I can tell you what he wrote, and I thought it was so true. When he made the statement, he says, when making a sale and somebody decides to buy, that the decision that is being made is probably the closest thing to insanity that you'll find anywhere on planet Earth. Meaning basically that for some people, making a decision is literally the hardest thing that they can do. They just don't seem to know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the closest thing to insanity. Until they, this insanity stops the minute they make the decision. But for many, that's almost an impossibility. Fascinating, to say the least.
Mm.
Yeah, my sinus is something I've discovered is if it gets warm, my sinus bothers me more than usual. The other one that really is interesting and very frustrating is that anytime I eat, I don't know if it's just a tendency or whether it's just me, but when you eat, you have a tendency to lean over just a little bit.
Mm.
You just shovel it in, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to eat lunch, it'll never fail. The minute I grab that fork and I dive into that food and as I guess you would say, lean over a little bit to feed my face, my sinus will start to drain
Mm-hmm.
and drive me nuts.
Have you tried the nasal spray? Reverend David told me about that a while back, a couple of years ago maybe. Seems to help a little bit. The nasal, not spray, like the rinse.
Oh, The porta potty or whatever they call it.
No, it's comes
Well,
in a
that's,
bottle and you put it up your nose and squeeze.
yeah,
Saline.
saline solution, and I call it
Yeah.
porta potty because you're draining it in and draining it out. But
That seemed to help a little bit.
I tried that once, and I just had a hard time doing it.
Oh, gosh. You're a mess.
Uh, I did have one that I should use. It's a spray, you squeeze the bottle and spray it in your nose. And I did it a couple years ago. You brought that up and it reminds me, and I should maybe try it again.
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning, I would get up and I'd spray, shoot the spray up my nose. And what I found was that it would work for 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to get hooked on it, so I wouldn't take it every day. But by the following Sunday, I would realize that I needed to do it again. And it worked pretty good because it kept my sinus kind of under control, shall we say.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Yeah, at least for 3 or 4 days, and then when my nose would start to do what it's doing right now, usually on the 5th or 6th day, I would just go ahead, and then on Sunday, I would do it again. And then it would work for another 3 or 4 days. I might have to do that today and just get back on that idea of doing it that way. And it's cheaper because I don't have to spray it every day.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, the next one. It's called losing. One of the fundamental aspects of loving is the willingness to unite deeply with another person. It is natural that we should desire to be a deep and integral part of those we love. We believe that we can only bring them happiness if we can know them mind, body, and spirit. There is an inherent danger in this when we become so thoroughly involved with another that we lose ourselves. In so doing, we become less to everyone who loves us. For to totally merge our identity with another is to deny our past and all that makes us who we are. A loving relationship works better as a voluntary coming together of two separate individuals. Through their dedication and respect for each other, they create a new entity, which is neither one of them, but part of both, which is called their relationship. New relationships are always fragile. Those that survive seem either to age gracefully or end up simply aging. The difference, it seems, is in two people who have maintained their personal integrity and who have also been willing to merge their efforts and uniqueness into shaping their love. We will find it necessary to relinquish something of ourselves with each new relationship. But it is wise to be forever cautious, not to totally lose ourselves in the process. Quote at the bottom, Charles Field. There is abundant testimony that if we choose love rather than self, we gain immeasurably. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
I like it, some of it, because when you read it, when you're done reading, there's nothing left to say. It's kind of said it all.
It's true.
Yep. Oh, give me a second here. Oh, what would we not do without toilet paper? Like one of the survivalists that I was reading about said so eloquently, don't stock food, don't stock water. If you're going to stock anything, stock toilet paper.
Amen. So useful, so many things.
Yes, and the toilet paper will get you all the food you need. Or water, because everybody else will have forgotten about the toilet paper. Anyway, I'm going to go and read one more. We've probably got enough time for two more, I think. The next one is, you are never defeated in love until you imagine you fully understand it. Don't be taken in. There are no experts in love. I have been studying it for over 25 years, and I'm still hesitant even to define it. With each year, excuse me, that I have lived and struggled with the concept, I find new intriguing facets which keep me from ever being complacent as a lover. Those who demand to see the whole picture or the bottom line will surely remain forever frustrated. It's not so important that we receive definite answers to love. It's that we continue to search. It would be a tragedy to reach the point of death without understanding all we can about love. For I feel certain that our lives would be defined in the final analysis by the love we expected. To continue to grow in love is a joyous and mystical journey, full of new insights, excitement, and surprise. The eventual payoff, though, it may not offer us all of the answers, but it's well worth the trip. Jonas Salt made the comment, the brontosaurus became extinct, but it wasn't their fault. In order to survive, man has to evolve. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jonas.
Yeah, that's pretty mysterious.
That's something to contemplate all by itself. I've tried for 2 weeks to figure out how to get rid of my damn pop-ups, and I still haven't figured it out.
Right-click them and see if it gives you an option to stop them. When they pop up, right-click them.
Right-click them. I'll try that when the next one pops up.
Yeah.
But I went into settings, I went into my email back
Mm,
office, I went into, practically everything I can think of, uh, because I used to not have them.
yeah, I think they're considered notifications.
Yeah, it's supposed to
So
notify me of certain things. Well, I read my email, so I don't need my emails popping up every single time because I get
yeah,
them every 5 seconds, it seems like.
yeah. But that's how I stopped them. I right click them and
And it gives you an option.
yeah.
I'll try that the next one that pops up and see if I can maybe do something with it. Okay, I'm looking at the clock, so I'm saying we got time here for probably one more. And then we'll have to bail out till Saturday. Holy cow. I mean, half the year is almost over with already. It's
Yeah.
flying like a bat out of hell. Okay, the next one is called self-sacrifice. Sacrifice for personal gain is demeaning and unnatural, but illuminated by love. Self-sacrifice becomes sacred. Too often, excuse me, too often we have heard, after all I have given you, this is the way you show your gratitude. This, and in so many other familiar pitfall manipulations, are degrading to any concept of love. They imply a bartering by placing conditions and expectations upon us to repay in kind. When we give up something for someone we love, no matter how great the sacrifice, there can be no conditions. What we do because we will it, free of implications or future payment, or debt, or guilt. Only in this way is sacrifice a healthy manifestation of love. A quote by Dana Mullock Crane says, "Love that asketh love again finds the barter not but pain. Love that giveth in full store, receives as much and more." A poet, and she doesn't even know it.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking that.
I think I read it correctly.
Yeah, sure you did.
Let's see.
That's an interesting hat, Robert. What is it?
Oh, that's a hat that I got from Wells Electric. That's the company that is my electrical
Oh,
power people. And they give away pins, which I got probably 100 of them. Because every time I go pay my bill, I grab a pin. And then over the years, they've given, I got a little tiny small box of tools, for doing little stuff,
yeah.
which was really, really nice. Well, that was about 2 or 3 years ago. Every now and then they'll come up with some kind of thing. I think what they do is they order stuff for promotional purposes. And then, they give a lot of it away. And then what happens is that sometimes they'll end up with, 2 or 3,000 left over that they didn't get rid of, and so they just put them on the desk, and you're welcome to them when you come.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And the hat was one of them. In fact, I've got actually, I'd say 3, maybe 4 different hats. It's the same company. I always like to wear this one because it's got the flame on it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, so I got a pop-up. Right-click it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I right-clicked it, and nothing popped up, but it went
Oh,
away.
really?
Yeah, but it went away. Oh, now it's loading. No, it's loading whatever the advertisement was, I think.
You opened it.
I opened it.
Right-click didn't help?
Right-click didn't help. It opened it.
Well, try to find your notification setting and see if you can.
Yeah, I'll have to do that a little bit later.
Yeah. I opened your website. I like the pizza one the best.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I think I'll copycat that one. I like that one.
Now, that's interesting because when I right-clicked it, it took me to my own site. My True United site, one of them.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, because what I was reading, I got the one with the BBB in there, the Better Business Bureau.
Right.
And I put that one in there because what I was studying and reading, it said that any notification of verification of its honesty is very helpful. So I put the Better Business Bureau cell in there because True United, at least they're in wherever they're at, in Colorado or somewhere.
Yeah.
They are a member of the Better Business Bureau, so
that's good.
That's legit.
Yeah.
And then the other one I put in Toastmasters, and I can legally do that because I'm an ex-president, past president.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and you had mentioned that once before, so that's great.
Yeah, and I liked it because it's Toastmasters, and then right below it says where leaders are born or...
Right.
So, yeah. But like I said, I'm glad you like them because I think I did pretty good on them.
Yeah, they're terrific.
And then if you click on it, it takes you directly to where you sign up. It doesn't take you to the front page of True United. It takes you right to where you put in your name and your...
Yes, yeah, the sign-up page. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so that works out really great.
I noticed that the last ones that you did. That's good.
So anyway, we done ran out of time again, as usual.
Okay. Well, I won't see you Saturday. It's a busy day for us, so I'll see you next Tuesday, I guess.
Okay, well, it's possible that Reverend Dave might pop in on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll have to wait and see, and if not, I'll see you on Tuesday then.
Okay, Robert. Well, God bless you. You have a great weekend.
Yeah, God bless you, and you have a great weekend as well.
Okay, well, happy Easter, you and your family.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.